why
Pull it in a little
Jesus
closer
was
to the
crucified,
judge. Pull it in a little closer.
if you get the answer to why Jesus was crucified, you have the answer of why America threw out the greatest government form that was ever put together. This nation of ours has been crucified. The question is, can we get it back together? And granted, no one man can do it. But I find the way they put this thing together in 1776 was they started in 1774 and got up a team of people that were going to do it. And it seems to me Newt Gingrich has done just that in establishing this Republican dominance and the dominance of let's get the ship of state on a financially sound basis. And he's doing it. He's moving these people out. And you can see the weakness of their intelligence. All they can do is get mad and talk ugly about it.
They're sure doing that.
They're doing that.
Well, it had to come. He knew that. He explored this EMI about 25 years ago.
Who did?
Newt did.
Is that right?
He knows full well there are many programs that will reduce crime and improve behavior.
You think he'll get his agenda far enough along that we can get some government? That was digressing again for a moment when the professor at Emory wrote what we call now the Target program. The toughest job he had was writing God out of it, but not writing the teachings of God out of it. The Word. And we've been in the Orange County schools now for 8 years, never had a comment against it. So the teachings are what we're working at, and the learning without the use of the word God to get us in trouble. That was one of the businessmen dodges, not dodges, but what I told, he knew at the beginning. We met with the school board superintendent and we met with the professor at Emory. And he wrote it so that it wouldn't get in trouble. I hadn't thought about taking that to maybe Dan's work and seeing can we write it, not losing its efficacy, but get the God word out so we don't get crosswise with the anti-God forces.
I think we can.
That to me isn't a cop-out, Judge. Do you read it that way?
No, it's not a cop-out, because once you write it that way and then you tell them privately that that's what they'll find in the Bible, and you've got it made.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take the value of the teachings and the way of the teachings and see if we can put it in a marketable form.
We wind up with a better word for God than God by use of the word ruka and truth.
Right.
The word God is a little foggy. You don't know what you're worshiping when you worship that word, but ruka and truth, you can get your mind around that. Much more powerful.
Well, ruka, as I understand your thinking, it's the Chinese equivalent to key, except a more universal.
I don't know the Chinese word well enough to comment, but the forces, I think gravity would be a ruka. Electromagnetic vibrations would be a ruka. Love is a ruka. And the force that you establish in your mind when you set a goal that causes you to seek to achieve it is a ruka. That's an unchanging law. Seek and ye shall find.
Okay.
That's an eternal law. Anytime you get an eternal force, you get an eternal law, which simply states what the force will do. So,
Yeah.
but Jesus' advice, be gentle as a dove and wise as a serpent, is the operational motto if you want to do any of this.
Paralleling what Dan has done, here was what this is my writings, as it were, which I call Management 1. And I'm here partly because of the parallel needs. This is what I've used in my business, and it's just sort of a set of mnemonics, an outline, a summary of the things that I learned from Dan, and I've tried to take it knowing that you had people who had a will to change, not to go to jail, a negative goal, and try to turn it to a positive goal, that I have a will to do it so we can have a good life in a corporate world. And I'm looking for a writer and so on to take this, and I kind of want to marry the two, because the truth is the same whether it's dealing with a person who's done
Right.
bad or whether it's a person that's doing good. I don't see any difference in the, it all relates to one mind having a will
That's right.
and wanting that will to set a goal. And the crux of one reason I'm here is I want, as you watch people setting goals as a result of your personal behavior, have you learned any tricks or techniques or ways to have somebody will to do what you want without the big stick?
Well, I don't know. I doubt seriously that I have. I just have, when you in a job like this, your word is final, whatever you